Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews. Have you ever wondered what games you should sell or you should use? Find out here at Purge Reviews. Find out on our top 10 list what games you cannot miss. Don't forget to subscribe to Purge Reviews.
Here's Caves and Claws, the cooperative game for children. It plays 1 to 4. You're going to see it's an old style box. It's not very durable, but I really actually like the artwork on it quite a bit. I think this hand looks cool. It says one of the 10 best game winners. Well, we'll jump into it and see how it goes, but I believe this was released in 1998, so your mileage may vary. You can get some pawns, some what looks to be homemade components, not very good. Let me get this set up and I'll show you how it plays. So what you're trying to do in this game is you're trying to find the yellow tiles. There's 8 of them that will fill this up. When you fill this up with the tiles, then you can leave the board and go and win the game. This is a 100% cooperative game. Players will be all playing together and your game will start on a grid like this. So when the game's set up, you'll have 4 of these random in the caves and 5 each on the 2 temples. Each player will turn over a random road tile and they can place it anywhere on the board they want. So if you're playing a 2-player game, you would start out with 2 tiles like this. You do want to have one going off the board because that's where your players will be coming on the board. The rules are not clear on what constitutes a turn, but from what I can find out, what you do is you take your stack of tiles and you pull one over and you put it on the board wherever you would like. One thing you want to watch out for when you're placing this is that you have a road, multiple paths really, to each cave. There's a cave in each diagonal and the 2 temples, and you want as many roads going off as possible. So as the game goes on, you're really going to want to give yourself multiple paths. The reason why you want to make sure you're multiple paths is you're only going to have 5 of these. These can be used to get rid of bad things that will come up. So for example, the stinky sock can get rid of a claw or a hairy thing. This net can only get rid of a bat. This lantern can get rid of a claw, bat, darkness, or a hairy thing. The broccoli can get rid of a hairy thing or a claw. And the crowbar can get rid of a door, tree, or boulder. There will be 5 of these that all the players will have universally to agree on when to use them. On your turn, you will lay down one of these path tiles and you can move across the paths as far as you want to go. There's no dice to move or spinner. And you'll go to one of these locations and you will turn it over. If it's a bad thing, then what you'll do is you'll cover up one of the roads. That's why it's good to have more. Now this is considered a hairy thing. Blue's turn, he can go to my location or a different location. If he goes here and he picks up the tile and it matches the yellow, then we would put on here filling up one of the spots. When all 8 spots are filled up, then we can leave the board. And the game just continues on like that. So if you ever get blocked in, then you would use one of your power-ups. So this power-up can get rid of a hairy thing, so maybe I'll use it to do this. So you can kind of get blocked in. You want to use your thing strategically. There's not a whole lot of strategy to it, to be honest. You're literally just going these places, and hopefully if it's shuffled in your favor, the treasures will come up before a bunch of these bad things. But if not, you take care of them with your green tiles. And then once you are able to, you have all of your things, you just run out of the temple on a turn. If both players can do that, you win. If you get blocked in and cannot leave and don't have all 8, then you lose the game. It's 100% cooperative, very easy tile laying game, and set collect. It seems like back in the 90s, Family Pastimes released a bunch of children games, a lot of them cooperative. And I've liked some of them. Max was one that we tended to like quite a bit. Caves and Claws is one my son is currently having a lot of fun with. For me, it's just this random thing where you're overturning tiles and you're randomly turning over these other smaller tiles to see if you collected what you need. I've never lost this game playing with him, but I think that's because I make a couple good decisions on the paths that maybe he's too young to make. But it seems like a rather easy game. I'd like to see him play a little bit more by himself and see if he can figure it out on his own. The components are complete garbage. You actually cut them up with the scissors when you first get them. It's not very good, but this is kind of the rule with these type of games, these family pastime games. The components are not very good, and from that time period, you're not going to get very good components from this company at all. The games are neat enough. I mean, if all you'd ever seen was Monopoly or Candyland, then these games would be really neat. So I think in their time period, they were really, really good. Now for children's games, they're actually really, really good. And I would recommend Caves and Claws. Now, as adults, we can see through it and just see the luck that is involved. But it is cooperative and it's neat. There was a ghost game that came out with a Ghostbusters theme that had that cooperative nature, but you don't see that a whole lot in the children games mass market. You see a lot of spin and moves. You see a lot of roll the dice and move. So it's nice to see something different. I think once they get 7 or 8, they're going to be able to see through this game. But for earlier kids and kids who might be interested in monsters, and they're not scary at all, and cave dwellings and stuff like that, this is actually a pretty neat game. You're laying tiles, you're creating rows that you have to utilize, and really thinking ahead and finding multiple paths out of a room because it can get blocked for you is very, very important. So it has some of that forward thinking. So I will recommend this one a little bit. I think that if you have smaller children, you would want to invest in this one. It's Caves and Crawls. Thanks for watching the video. I really appreciate you tuning in. If you liked it, please like it and hit that little subscribe button. That really helps out the channel, lets us know that you're getting the videos that you want. If you agreed or disagree with what I said, feel free to comment below. I'd love to hear what you have to say, and I promise that I will comment back. Thanks for watching, and everybody else, keep playing.